Hey mi gente, it's Julian Steve. You already know my name, but if you're new here, hey. Today we're going to do the first episode of Avoidance Steve on my channel, where I talk about topics I've avoided. Technically, I'm gonna explain more within the video, and this is gonna be a two-part series for now. Okay, mi gente. Okay, mi gente. Okay. We're going to start now. I do want to note that when it comes to research, I've researched as much as I can, but it's not a completely researched video like my previous videos, since this is more like me talking about pop culture and all current events, but quick, okay? Okay. First, we are going to be discussing the Drake versus Kendrick diss track era. And this topic, I wasn't really trying to avoid it. If you see my community tab post, I've talked about it a bit on here, but I wanted to talk about it now because so much has happened, so might as well just talk about it. It all started back in March 2024 when Kendrick Lamar collaborated with Metro Boomin and Future on Like That, and Kendrick dissed J. Cole and Drake. J. Cole responded back first with 7-Minute Drill on April 5th, 2024. Then Drake released Push-Ups. I'm not really sure when exactly, but it was around April 2024.
Get more love in a city that you from, nigga. Metro, shut your whole ass up and make some drums, nigga.
People are not sure if it came out earlier due to the fact that Drake and his team, they were saying that it didn't came out earlier and that it was AI, so people are not really sure. I'm not really sure how many diss tracks really came out from Drake or that was AI. Then Kendrick Lamar released Euphoria on April 29th or April 30th. And I'm saying this because it was on YouTube one day, and then I believe it went on streaming platforms the day after.
Okay, everybody wanna be demon till they get chipped by your throwaway. And I might do a show a day. Once a lame, always a lame. Oh, you thought the
Kendrick released 616 in LA on May 3rd via Instagram Reels. Then Drake released Family Matters on May 3rd.
always rapping like you about to get the slaves freed. You just acting like an activist. It's make believe. Don't even.
And Kendrick Lamar released Meet the Grams an hour after.
To any woman that be playing this music, know that you're playing your sister, or better yet, selling your niece. To the weirdos, not the good ones. Cat Williams again.
On Saturday night, Kendrick released Not Like Us, which made me end up making this as a topic in the video.
On him, say Drake, I hear you like I'm young. You better not ever go to cell block 1. To any bitch that talk to him and they in love, just make sure you hide your little sister from him.
I really enjoyed this. I'm going to be honest. I'm enjoying these diss tracks. I'm really happy with how Kendrick is going very strong. So far, Kendrick hasn't missed a beat. And Drake, his is okay, but it's not on the level of Kendrick's. And you could tell that Kendrick is a MC for real. Like, he's really in this to win this. Whereas Drake is more like he's just doing it for the aesthetic and also to make sure that his reputation doesn't look bad. Because Drake, we all know Drake, he don't come for everyone who disses him. But if it really bothers him to the point that he has to, he's going to do it, which in this case, that's what he's doing with Kendrick. And then he's also name bombing other people in the diss tracks. I do know certain fans want to hype up Drake, because they genuinely think he is a great rapper. I'm going to be honest, I'm saying this as a person who does like Drake's music, and I'm somewhat of a fan, but I'm not a fan as I was when I was younger. Kendrick Lamar is a better rapper. Yeah. So, we gotta keep it real. Kendrick is not perfect. Nobody is perfect. However, when you have to compare the two, one of them has a lot of issues. Like, when it comes to, like, very, very sensitive topics. Whereas the other one, some things he does is not okay, but it's not on a bigger scale as the other one. Shaboozey's a country reject? Well, I'm going to explain this a bit. So, if you're not familiar with Shaboozey, I'm going to talk a bit about him. Conan's Obinia Shaboozey recently collaborated with Beyonce on her country album, and he's best known as Shaboozey. Certain country fans do not consider him as country. His viral hit, a bar song, Tipsy, which interpolates J. Cole's, I think. J. Cole's 2004 single, Tipsy. I've been boozy since I left. I ain't changing for a chick. Tell my mind. In my opinion, I like the song. It's really good. I like the interpretation of Tipsy, and I believe that Shaboozey is talented. However, I do feel like he wants to market too much to white people. I get it. Country is predominantly white right now. I'm not saying it originated by white people. Duh. It did not. But what I'm saying is he's trying very hard to market towards white people, and it is throwing me off a bit. And I'm not trying to support Black people who are trying their hardest to market towards white people. I get it. In some extent, they have to get more capital, but how much is too much? And I know he's new, so I want to give him grace, and I hope I'm wrong, and maybe he proves me wrong. But so far, for what I'm seeing with certain things he has done and the amount of Black people are in the background, it's very questionable. But maybe I'm wrong. We see within the coming months. And I just noticed, I forgot to mention, he is Nigerian descent, which is interesting because you rarely see Nigerians, specifically whether they American or they were born in Nigeria, you rarely see that they participate in a genre like country. So this is very marketable, not marketable. This is a achievement, I guess, but just my opinion. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, but he's really tried to market towards white people, and it's throwing me off. Next. Ooh, this died. Normani Hate. So I've been seeing that people have been having discourse on Normani's current new song, 159 with Gunna.
Get you alone. Boy, what you gon' do with...
I'm gonna be honest, I really like the song. It's good. I like both Normani and Gunna being on this record together, and I believe the song is good. Whether I prefer it as a lead single, that's debatable, because I do believe Candy Paint is a bit more stronger as a lead single. So I kind of get where people were coming from critiquing that, but I do believe Normani and her team, they tried to wait until the summertime to release it. Well, not even the summertime, because the album is going to come out before summer officially starts, but they're going to probably release it within the coming weeks, maybe before the album officially is like about to come out. The song most likely is going to perform well, or at least decently.
So what can fans expect style-wise from this new era?
It's definitely giving grit.
It's definitely edgier. It's definitely me owning my divine femininity and sexuality and not being afraid or shying away from that. Cutting edge, I would say.
I just find it weird how people are trying to critique Normani for every little thing. She just came back after having a hiatus to take care of her parents who were suffering, being diagnosed with cancer. Like, that's very, very sad. And the way people were being insensitive, I get it. People wanted her album to come out, and it could have came out earlier. Due to circumstances, she had to postpone it because she felt it was the right thing to do. And then on top of her being a professionalist, it makes it even harder for her to release things if she's not proud of it.
Telling the mag, I could have put 3 albums out by now in that duration. I'm not oblivious to that, but I felt like I owed it to myself to be able to take my time and reinvent and be experimental.
Everything's happening the way that I guess it was meant to.
The 27-year-old says after having no artistic control over the music she put out with Fifth Harmony, she wanted to take ownership of her solo career, revealing that she hated her debut single Motivation and its pop refulgence.
So I understand where she's coming from. Of course, I cannot be like, I'm like Normani, because I'm not. Look at my channel, I have so many videos, but I do understand where she's coming from because I've deleted certain videos that I felt like weren't good, which, I mean, certain videos weren't good, but my point is, you cannot you cannot stop everything that you do just because you think it's bad. And I think that's some people's criticisms when it comes to Normani being a professionalist, but it is very hard, especially when you're used to doing that. And when it comes to another controversy that Normani has been recently in, it has to do with her allegedly and or her team handling her biggest fan account, which I believe the name is Normani Nation. I get why certain people have an issue with that because it shows that she's inauthentic and her team, if that is true. But at the same time, I believe they want to make a safe space so way they can make sure that Normani is getting the exposure that she wants without relying on her fan base. I know some people are going to say that don't make sense, but I'm pretty sure if this is true, Normani is not the only person who has done this. I do understand where people are coming from, but I just feel like that's not important, at least right now, because there are more important things to talk about when it comes to Normani and her career. Okay, when it comes to the single, complaining about it, I kind of get it, but at the same time, is this going to always be a thing? Because the amount of people that always complain about Normani's single rollouts is ridiculous. I just feel like it's ridiculous. And it'd be the same people that say, oh, they don't care, they don't want to hear the music, but you still hearing the music. I just think people complain too much about things that doesn't need to be complained about, especially for Normani. This is a debut album. It's not like this is her second, her third, or her fourth album. I would maybe get the criticism, but this is her debut album. Like, calm down. I am going to make this portion brief. There has been nationwide protests in numerous universities and additional schools, because I've heard it has happened in high schools as well. I am pro-Pakistan and I am pro-Congo, pro-Sudan, pro-Haiti. However, we're going to specifically speak on pro-Pakistan, specifically when it comes to Columbia University. So there was a clip, I'm not sure if I'm going to find it to put it in this video, but there was a clip that I saw where a white protester threw water at a police officer. It made me feel racial tension behind it, and I was afraid to mention it in here because I know we are trying to get a ceasefire, and for the United States to stop funding Israel. I do believe that when it comes to mistreatment, regardless of how you feel about police officers, I feel like that is not appropriate, especially because in that video clip, the police officer did not touch this person. They were just doing their job, trying to, like, I guess, protect the school. I'm not sure, but yeah, protect the school. And then the person threw the water at them, and then I think they were chanting as well, because I don't remember, because I was at the gym and I couldn't hear the audio. I just saw the video clip and it really bothered me because it was giving racism. I just feel like we need to all treat people respectfully while protesting. I know it's hard, especially when it comes to police, because I've seen what police officers have done in Columbia University. I've read a lot of articles before filming this because I want to make sure I make sense and I understand from both perspectives, but at the same time, I do not like, especially when it's white people trying to disrespect black people, whether they police officers, protesters, etc. I just don't like it. I'm not saying we deserve the best treatment just because we're the most marginalized group of people, but I do not like when white people, regardless what type of power they have and stuff like that, they take advantage of it, and then they think they could just treat us like shit just because they a black person is, for example, a police officer. So I just believe that what I saw was not okay. Final topic: NFL preferences and media attention. If you're not familiar, recently there has been a draft 1 for the NFL, and basically this is where football players are drafted on specific teams, and as of now, for what I've read, they chose 32 athletes. Hey, mi gente, so in the video, I should have done this before, but here we are. So I did some research, like more research after filming, and I've noticed that in the NFL draft 1, a lot of the black men that were chosen are partnered with black women or mixed with black women. I'm not really sure because a few of them do look mixed in my opinion, but I can definitely confirm that a lot of these men are partnered with black and mixed with black women. And I just feel like when it comes to these type of discussions happening, when it comes to the NFL draft and how majority of the black men or mixed with black men partner with women who are one side of their family ancestry or they are outside of the race, people tend to make a discourse about it and crucify these men for doing this. I'm not saying it's not common when it comes to sports overall, but when it comes to the NFL draft, at least this year, for what I've seen, a lot of these black men are partnered with black or mixed with black women, and I just feel like they were misjudged. I'm not saying all of them, but the ones that I'm talking about that are partnered with black women were misjudged, and I feel like a lot of us owe them an apology. I'm not going to say me because I didn't really judge them like that. I mean, well, in the video, yes, but what I'm saying is after doing more research, I'm like, nah, they actually partnered with black women. First off, when it comes to mixed with black men, this does not surprise me when they date outside of their race, even though if they are half white, that's not really dating outside of their race because they are half white. But it doesn't surprise me because growing up in New York City, but also seeing online discourse and stuff related to that, I noticed a lot of mixed with black men date non-black people it's rare when they date black women. We don't really know these men's backgrounds because we gotta remember, all of them are younger than me, and we have to give them grace. They young men. They not in their mid-20s, 30s, 40s. They still young. They have more choices to do within their life and with who they end up partnering for the long run. And I just feel like when it comes to this type of discourse, it dehumanizes them in a way to seem like they just exclusively partnering with these white women. And I'm not saying it's not possible. I do think we need to give young people a chance to change. Of course, when you continuously see a pattern, that's another discussion. But what I'm saying is, we don't really know their stories. We do not know why they partnered with these white women. And we don't know who influenced them. Maybe their friends, maybe their family, maybe their managers. We do not know. There's so much that goes into it. And then, of course, we don't know. Is it self-hatred? Is it because they genuinely love the person? Is it both? We really don't know. There's so much that goes into it. So I just think we all need to give them grace. If you do not feel comfortable supporting them, do not support them. Thank you so much if you made it this far in this video. I appreciate you. Be sure to like this video, comment, share, and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Tell me what you think about Drake versus Kendrick Lamar, Shaboozey, Normani, Columbia University strikes, and NFL preferences. Do you agree with what I'm talking about? Do you disagree? Let me know in the comments below. Of course, respectfully. Be on the lookout for episode 2. Okay, mi gente. Okay, mi gente. Okay. Thank you and peace, mi gente.